How can our life experiences increase our faith without making us feel depressed, hopeless, lonely, and that we are unable to feel the presence of the Lord in our lives, and that if God exists, where is He? When we feel that we need Him to intervene in our lives so that we can have peace and joy, will we find Him? Will we find Him? Will we find Him?
Action.
Invisible lady is what she called. She's in the race for the long haul. Giving up feels like letting go. Just ride along and go with the flow. Hope for understanding and personal growth too. For her, for them, and others to do. A little creativity and fun along the way. Let's get this lesson started by ceasing to pray. Today's lesson tells us a story about a letter Paul wrote to the Philippian church while he was incarcerated in a Roman jail. Paul had founded the church there during his second missionary journey. During the time Paul sent this letter, the city of Philippi had an interesting history in which the factions or groups of Roman ruling classes had come to an end. He wrote the letter because he had heard about the conflicts and rivalry that he believed threatened the church's unity and influence, hence its existence. Even though Paul was incarcerated, he showed concern for the lives of believers and others, as well as his love for the gospel. That powerful people we look up to are corrupted and indulge in shady behavior, displaying no integrity, and seem to get away with it. We sometimes wonder if God is in control when there's no accountability, no consequences, no penalty, or no remorse, only excuses offered. We sometimes have doubts. This behavior does not reflect believers in a positive light and may have non-believers wondering about the sincerity of our faith. What is our motive for sharing God's inspired word? Are we sincere, selfish, or have ulterior motives? Maybe it's not so much of rejoicing when we go through a hard time, but it's encouraging to come to faith because of our struggles. My first thought after reading the lesson scripture was that's so unrealistic to rejoice in all circumstances, especially painful ones. When I go through stuff, I don't feel happy about it or feel like rejoicing because of the pain or confusion it may cause. But what I learned from Paul was that even though we may be going through something, if it's benefiting Christ's cause, our faith will see us through. Sometimes it's not about us, but it's about who is encouraged or strengthened by what we go through or our deliverance from it. Some believe in the power of prayer. Deliverance comes when we no longer struggle over what we were struggling with in the first place. If it's been resolved, or we see the struggle or circumstance from a different perspective. Maybe someone may have said something or did something to ease the funk that we were in. Let's not get it twisted. I believe there's a difference between expressing joy over a situation or circumstances or accepting it. If it's something we have no control over, like an illness, accepting it and moving on in faith with our lives shows our resilience and strength.